now. I think previously I had this one, but I'm sorry. Previously, I had this one, but I believe last week, I guess, one of your friends mentioned that she's already doing Pomodoro technique. Just a very quick brief, I believe you know it. But for the studying, how effectively studying, you may just say, what is the connection between culture and study? But this is just me. Like sometimes if I find something valuable, I try to add in my own program. So since in this course, our purpose is to try to find the best way, the effective way of working, thinking, knowing, understanding. That's why it's just come to my mind, but probably you may know it. But if you don't know it, my suggestion would be also take a look of the how to effectively the try to understand the concept, any concept that you are trying to learn it. Okay, so Pomosika, you may read it more detail. So I will leave it here, but I'm not going to go through it next currently. But it's already uploaded, so you may check. But I want to start culture directly today. Uh, what is culture? My question is to you. What is culture?
Can I try?
Please.
In my opinion, probably culture is some amount of things that are you like that. Um, just a second, sorry. This is some amount of the things that are common in some social group or maybe local group also.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Wait, Dara. Please excuse me. I was looking at the message. In some group, you said some group of what exactly?
In some social group or
Aha.
local group.
Okay, we have some social group and
Some things that are common in this.
common. Good. Okay. Yes. Now I understand. Sorry. Okay. Nice shot. Culture is the shared way of life of a group of people. Yeah, exactly, Parsa. Thanks for that. Uh, because why I want to keep the culture very deep. I want you to understand why culture is very important. We have I don't know in your culture, but at least in our culture, we know culture, the meaning we use in our daily life. The culture more uh like a custom. Okay, now or we say somehow people we see like cultural people. We say like this, like, oh, they are cultural people. So it means like these people are more have knowledge, more have different perspective, more like this. Okay, but culture is just that's what I just said. Is just part of it. Culture is a very huge concept that we can include most of whatever you're going to see in the society, almost it we will consider as a culture. So exactly, Aishat, is the way people live, think, behave. It's their values, exactly like this, like belief, language, tradition. So it's not only just tradition or custom, okay? So culture is almost the everything. And my favorite um, word for culture is this one, mindset. I love this word. Culture is a mindset because since it is that much embedded in us, in our society, in our group, in our family, so it is become our mindset. So it is in it already. And it's not really easy to figure it out. It's not really easy when you try to reasoning the thing, right? Because also for the scientific issues as well, not only for the daily life. When we want to see something where it comes from, then when we try to reason things, right? We say, okay, what's the reason for that? What's the cause for that? Right? And then sometimes, and most of the time, actually, it might be related with the culture that we can't really see it because it is under the knees, embedded. We will see now word for this, but before coming to that, culture, I told you before, whenever we're gonna learn something new, we will go through the etymology of the word, okay, the root of the word. Culture is the coming from the colore, okay, in Latin word, and which is the cultivate also, and the way of life of groups of people, meaning the way they do things. Okay, this is the way of living, way of acting, way of behaving. Okay, so this is perception. We will come to that one. Perception, attitude, behavior. That's just some sort of explanation in the in psychology as well. So it's an art, music, literature, film, dance. Do you see, like, a lot of things from generation to generation? It is transferable. Even though you say, I don't want this, okay? By the way, you may avoid it, but still, it is very sneaky. You don't really know what you are really getting it because this is a mindset and it's transferring like unconsciously also. And it is, yes, group membership identification. This is also not only as an individual, but as a group. This is how do we define ourselves, identify, group, categorize ourselves. That was the thing I was. Personality, we haven't come to that one, right? Good. Yes, next week we will talk personality. So, culture definitely is a buzzy word. Like it is actually not really buzzy word. It is like it is very important. Okay, uh, it is that much important, so we don't really call it as a buzzy word. Okay, culture is a specific to group of people and learn. That's very important because some people think that when I say it's transferable, uh, you may think that it is inherited because when I also told you it can be transferable from generation to generation. Your immediate response would be also okay, it must be inherited then if it's like this, but no, it is learned. Uh, let's continue. So human nature is, we know it, is inherited, right? We have the culture about, which is learn, specific the group or the category. It can that's why since it is learn, it can change. If you live in other countries, we will okay. I will give more better example in a minute. I'll keep it now. Let me continue with this iceberg. Uh, and then on top of it, we have the personality. Personality is more individual, more specific to human being, which is inherited plus learn. Okay? Because human nature, combine it with the culture, and you may categorize, you may code it in your mind, which one is inherited, which one is learned, uh, in this way. Since the personality is top of the iceberg, so personality is somehow the accumulation of the culture and the human nature, so it will be a combination of both of it, inherited and learned, both. Okay, but personality will be our next week chapter. Now, I want to talk about national culture. For national culture, we have the very famous guy we call Geir Hofstad, Dutch scientist. Unfortunately, he died, I think 2 years ago, three years ago, I guess. How I know him? This is the guy. Yeah, Geir Hofstad. Oh, 2020, is it? Okay, okay, 5 years already. We have a story with this guy. That guy is such a scientist that he still want to teach and learn even in that age. We were doing our PhD, and we had the presentation or group teamwork about national culture versus something I don't really remember, but we had somehow discussion point. We had some question to him, okay, and we send an email to him, and he's sort of, let's say, assistant. He accept us, sorry, reply us, and he reply us like this. Currently, we read your email to Hofstad, and Hofstad is very honored to read your comments and asking. He's becoming very like emotional because he's happy that still people after almost a century, uh, some people are still reading his work, and his work is still valid. So he want to provide his comment from him, but he's very old now, so it was like just 2 years before he died. So he sent us an email. So that's why I don't know. I have some sort of connection with this guy as well, and I also adore what he's doing. He done. So again, let me come back to national culture. Refers to a group of people who have been brought up within a given country. Okay, in comparison to others, these individuals tend to share certain expectation of how things should be done. Okay, that's important. In comparison to others. So in this course, we are lucky because we are having people from different nationalities, I know, here. So while we are talking any concept here, please try to look and make the comparison about your values, your expectation of how things should be done, okay, and your values, okay, in your nationality values. And please compare it in your mind, because we will come in a minute, with the other groups that you're meeting at uni, I don't know. Try to see the differences, like what is different in your expectation, what is your peers, and let's say you are probably seeing more Turkish than other nationalities here. I observe, I'm talking about foreigner student now, or Turkish student now. You can think about your values, okay, with your peers, and the comparison to the other one, to try to see, while we are talking about this, try to see if you catch any like a certain differences about the expectation you have it. Okay, national culture takes shape at formative age. This is again important to understand, because your question might be, and we have this, I know, I'm gonna ask, like, I born in let's say Syria until the age of 6. Then I moved to Qatar. I lived there 10 years. Then after 10 years, I moved to Dubai, or I came to Turkey. I think I'm going to see those sort of stories here. So that's why which culture I belong to. Uh, so that's why let's formalize it together, okay? And let's see whether it is fitting with the theory and practice. So it is shape a formative age. These impressions are completely formed by the age of 12 to 14 and are a product of the environment we grow up in. Yeah, okay. So about 12, 14 is the more formulated, it says. And it is easier to sense national culture in larger group, of course it is. But since here, what I believe, uh, yeah, this is the formation part. But since human brain, as we know, is developed, it can evolve, especially until the 21, something like this. It can improve very well. Okay, so since it can improve well, also the personality itself, we will come to personality next week, that it can also change, okay? So when I put all these parts together, I have a sense of like culture. We may have some mix of it after that age as well, at least until like 20s or something, okay? But we will discuss together. Now, after explaining you this, we will, but first please be sure that you understand the um, items of national cultures. Then we will do the test together, okay? Be ready for the test now, in a minute. So this guy has mentioning 6 aspects of a national culture. The first of them is the power distance index, we call. The second, individualism versus collectivism. Third, short term versus long term. 4, masculinity versus femininity. 5, uncertainty avoidance index. Last one, indulgence versus restraint. Let's learn it together now. What power distances? What is power distance? In Turkish, güç mesafesi. I'm not gonna push you, but I will push you in a minute. Be ready, okay? So power distance is simply is a hierarchy. Like, okay, let's do like this. Not really hierarchy, but it's related. The concept itself is related with the hierarchy. This, it says power distance, right? Power here, power here. How much that distance is this short or this long? And when we are talking about that distance, we are talking about the hierarchy. How easy for you, this guy, you're this guy, okay? How easy for you to communicate with that guy, this part? Imagine that's you, that's the university administrator, I don't know, dean, rectorate, professor, any, okay? So power distance is how easy for you to reach us. How much you feel very hierarchical. Yeah. Understand? Is it clear about power distance?
Yes, it is.
How easy for you to reach? Dara.
Is it a question like how easy?
Yeah.
Almost impossible, I guess.
Really? Oh, bad news again. Yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to ask about individualism, if it's okay.
Yeah, please.
I read some articles about individualism as the social thing that people are more like likely to think about themselves than feel themselves in the society and as a part of the society.
Mm-hmm.
But here I see like total opposites terminology. So I wanted to ask like why is it so different?
The degree to which individuals are integrated in the groups. Actually, it's quite close to what you're saying. The degree it says, because whatever just you mentioned, it is quite connected with that, but let me explain what exactly it is. Individualism versus collectivism, right? So now, I like this example, and I will give you the same one. Individualism versus collectivism. Okay, that's true, by the way. Whatever you just mentioned, it is the explanation and the approach of it. But not only that one. individualism, it's not exactly how ego. It is more about how much um you feel more to be connected. You want to connect with the society. How much you want to be in it, or versus how much you want to. That's also another explanation for being individualism. That how much you prefer to stay alone, for example. We had an example like this. Tea. Okay. In Turkey, maybe these days, nowadays, by the way, it's also changing in Turkey. Turkey used to be more collectivist than now. So, no, sorry, vice versa. Turkey, and most of the countries, by the way, most of the countries used to be more collectivist than previously, more collectivist, now not collectivist. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. So Turkish case is the same. We used to be more collectivist, but especially after COVID, we have seen that people, since they used to stay alone, so they are started to be more individualist than the collectivist one. Okay, but our culture is still considered as a higher collectivism rate, also according to the Hofstadt research. Okay, uh, and the example here is like this: how Turkish people, when they go for a break at working place, how frequent that they go to drink tea with their peers versus they go to drink tea alone or coffee, whatever. But generally, that's an example for us because we generally, when we are, let's say, in a break time, we want to share this break with the friends, with the community that we are in. But we want to go drink together. We want to do something. We want to go to eat together. You see what I'm saying? So it is about uh, how more than like you think yourself more. Okay, individualism versus collectivism is something bigger than what you said. So, but where versus in England, for example, people are more going to drinking tea or whatever coffee. They go alone, for example, or they eat alone. Doesn't necessarily, but they're okay with that. Okay, so this is the explanation of individualism versus collectivism, actually. Then we have the uncertainty avoidance. So the degree of tolerance to uncertainty and ambiguity, you will say, isn't it like every human being will be avoiding the uncertainty? Yes, it is, by the way. We don't really like the uncertainty because that creates somehow a tension in our brain as well. So we feel more anxious also. But some culture do have this more than the other cultures. Okay. And Eastern cultures are more uncertainty avoidant. Masculinity versus femininity, this is explained very wrongly, okay, very wrongly. Because this is about the emotional's role clarification. Yeah. That's why I said clarification is needed. Why did I change this? Okay, this one I have to change it, okay, this clarification. Because this is not exactly what we are looking for, masculinity, femininity. Femininity is more about feminine culture is more about sorry, the other one. Masculine culture, they are more like keen on to see people who are successful. We are getting we are very prone to see people are very successful. People are in a high position. People are, we are, for us, it is very matter to being successful. But in the Western countries, also here, it is very important to say your job, your what are you doing in your daily life? Sorry, for living, for example. But in Western countries, it is less important. They don't really ask. It's not the first question they ask. What is your job, for example? Okay. So this is more about how the countries are keen on the success issue. Long-term orientation, that's easy. Like that you can consider even a financial decision. How for you, how much you make your plan long term? Long term mean here after 10 years. But generally, if you ask us, we do plan maybe on after only 1 year, 2 years, sometimes even not. because of the political issue, economic issue, social issue, a lot of issue. Indulgence versus restraint. Indulgence is how much you are taking, sparing time for yourself. Okay, indulge means to entertain. Okay, how much you entertain yourself, how much you socialize, how much like this is about that. Okay, now ready. Be ready for this. I need to. Could you please just copy this link and put in the chat box? So I will take it. Thank you. Thank you, Parsa. Now we are going to compare it to countries. Now I'll share my screen, the other one. Oop. Okay. You can see my screen, I guess. Is it?
Yes, you. Yes, we do.
Now, do you see all power, individualism? These are what we are talking about. These are the aspect. Now, let's make a comparison. Dara, which country are you from? Again?
I'm from Kazakhstan.
Let's see. Okay, let's see. Another country? Don't use
I'm
chat box.
from Nigeria.
Nigeria. Okay. Parsa, I can't read the chat box now. One more.
Iran,
Okay, Iran. Let me see if we can write one more.
Bahrain,
Sometimes it does not include every country, unfortunately. But no. UAB. Instead of Bahrain, can I write the United Arab Emirates?
yeah,
Because it's cumulatively it gives us. Okay, it might be easy. We will do more countries. We will add it, but let's see now all this. We may have just to see the compare for. Okay, you can only select 4 items. Okay, let's make the cultural comparison between 4 countries. So now I need verification. I'm going to ask you that you mentioned your country's nationalities. So let's do together whether it's you agree with that or not. So it says that Iran has a power distance which is 58 comparison to Kazakhstan, Nigeria, United Arab Emirates. It is less. So what this rate tells us is about Iran is it is above the average, not the average, sorry, it is above the middle point. So which means, yeah, they are still keen on the hierarchy. It is important for them, but not that much comparison to Kazakhstan, Nigeria, United Emirates. So the question, the comparison might be here. Again, I can ask you the same question, like how easy in Iran, Kazakhstan, Nigeria, United Arab Emirates to reach your not subordinates, your leader at work, your manager, or your professor, or anybody in hierarchy, hierarchical way, how easy for you to reach them? How easy to communicate with them? Okay, Papa, this is about this. So, are you agree with Iran? Who was it saying in Iran?
It was me.
I can't see my screen. Sorry. What's the name?
I'm Parsa.
Oh, Parsa. Good, good. Okay, Parsa. Are you agree with this? Like 58?
Yes and no. It really depends on the workspace and
Okay.
your profession.
Okay.
Some could be higher, but I would say it's a bit lower than 58. Closer to like 45, 40.
Or maybe it's because of, as you mentioned, depends on the workplace. Maybe in some certain workplace, power distance might be too much. In some
Yeah.
certain place, maybe it's very low. Okay, understandable. Okay, thank you, Parsa. So with the Kazakhstan 88, Dara, what do you say? It's a lot, is it?
It is a lot, but it's not surprising for me to say that actually, because in Kazakhstan there's a lot of national companies that are the biggest companies, so
Ah,
that is probably like that.
okay, okay, okay. Nigeria, agree?
Yeah, I think it's somewhat like close. So yeah, I guess it's true.
Okay. United Arab Emirates, Bahrain,
Yes.
yeah, it is hierarchical, right?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So when it comes to individualism, unfortunately, some rates might not be seeing there because of the data, lack of the data they collect. So when we come to the individualism, so you can think in that case, vice versa. Every country, the four of them that we choose, they all consider, according to the table, they are all collectivist. Are you agree? Is your country collectivist? Iran?
I
Parsa?
couldn't tell you honestly.
Uh,
I don't have enough of an idea to tell you.
okay. Why Parsa? Until what age you were there?
I've not been there for like 6, 7 years at this point, so
Previously? How was it previously?
not great, but uh,
Okay. Okay,
yeah,
okay, I see.
about what you would expect. Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. Kazakhstan, 80% says collectivist. Is it really true, Dara?
Can you repeat, please, the last
It says
sentence?
like 80% collectivist is Kazakhstan. Is it really, are you true? Are you agree?
Um, I mean, we're basically Turks. We're pretty close to Turkish culture at this point, so we're pretty like collectivist in like in older generation probably. Like my
Okay,
generation, we're
yes.
individuals.
Yeah. Like any culture, we can assume this. Older generation are more collectivist even. Yeah, okay, I see. For Nigeria, as I said, data, lack of data, we couldn't see. But for Arab Emirates, again, they consider as the collectivist. Motivation toward achievement and success. That's what I was trying to say, if you remember. So it is 43, for example. So in that case, achievement and success. So masculine countries, but it's in between. I can't really say they are all of them masculine or feminine. You are quite close to each other, and you are not that much prone to achievement and like not too much. Yes, you do have that. For you, it is important to achievement and success. Being successful is important, but not like a very, because we have a higher grades in other countries. Uncertainty avoidance, by the way, you can all see, this is very nice to see this guy. So if you come up here, you see that? It will show you all the criteria, all the explanation here. Like Kazakhstan, with an intermediate score, Kazakhstan has a bit of both worlds, high motivation toward achievement success for certain parts, low motivation toward achievements for others. So not clearly, exactly. This is a decisive society, Nigeria. In countries scoring with high motivation, people live on order to work. Live in order to work. Uh-huh. Managers, what about, oh, nice. You see, this guy explaining me better than me. Managers are expected to be decisive and assertive. And the emphasis is on acuity, competition, performance, conflict are resolved by fighting them out. Wow. Is it true, Nigeria?
Yes, it's actually
You see, it is like, wow, very strong words.
it is. It is.
Okay.
It's really close. It is true.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, okay. Uh, so United Arab Emirates is similar to the others. It is like in the middle, it says. It's not clearly dominant. Texas to focus on working in order to live. Working in order to live. Managers strive for consensus. People value acuity. So there. Okay, I know Parsa what you're gonna say because you have an exceptional story in Iran. So that's why I can
Yeah,
understand.
it's a lot less than 43, like,
Is
especially
it?
with the newer generations. Yeah,
Okay.
there's
Oh, okay.
a lot less hope now. So
Oh, yeah, I know. That's why I
I
said,
mean, there's also the other side of it where you work hard to
yeah,
leave the country. So there's
I
both
know.
sides. Like,
I know Iran situation. I'm really following closely, and I really understand what you're saying. So it's a different story currently. Uh, so uncertainty avoidance. Again, for Iran, I'm pretty sure your uncertainty
it's like
avoidance becomes like,
negative 20. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So here, uncertainty avoidance. Kazakhstan actually has the highest score currently. People do not readily accept change and are very adverse, sorry. They maintain rigid codes of belief and behavior, intolerant of unorthodox behavior and ideas. Ooh, tough. Okay, intermediate score.
It's actually super
Yes,
weird to see because Kazakhstan is one of the most technological countries of post-USSR and it's much, much farther in new. So
yeah.
that's why I'm a little bit confused about those numbers.
Uh-huh. Okay, okay. CMAC to avoid ambiguity, to minimize the level of uncertainty. There is an emotional need for strict rules, law, policies, and regulation. Yeah, maybe because of the Soviet effect. But I think Kazakhstan also it's quite evolving. It's changing, I guess, right, Dara?
It's one of the youngest countries and it's super like in front of Russia and other
Yeah,
post-USSR countries because
yeah.
no, like we love change and we used to change. So that's why it's weird for me to say that.
No, it is because of Dara. I think it's exactly because it's a previous version. Because since I see that for Soviets, the countries who have been under Soviet Union before, they have like this sort of results. But I think this study lastly when because they revised this one. Sorry, uh, how many years ago they have done this? Maybe 3 years ago, but still, yes, the sample size that they have communicated might be maybe not a really young generation, but I'm pretty sure it will be changing soon also because of the young generation. Long-term orientation, 85, again, Kazakhstan. With a very high score, Kazakhstan culture shown to be highly pragmatic. People believe that truth depends very much on situation, context, and time. They show an ability to adapt tradition easily to change the condition. You see, a strong prosper to save and invest. Okay, we see why the reason in Iran is like this. They come on. How can you? They think about the. I see. Nigeria is also low because I believe that's also there is no people in such societies have a strong concern with establishing the absolute truth. They are normative in their thinking. They exhibit great respect for tradition, a relatively slow prosperity save for the future. Okay, they're expecting a quick. It says they're expecting a quick result. And United Emirates also is showing the slow. Sorry, low. And indulgence. This is what I like. I mean, to see what is going on here. Indulgence mean 84% Nigeria are enjoying, it says. People from Nigeria, indulgence generally exhibit a willingness to realize their impulses to desire the regard to enjoying life and having fun. They possess a positive attitude, have a tendency toward optimism. Is it true, Nigeria?
Yes, actually, because no matter how tough life gets, you just
Wow,
have to live
impressive.
life. I mean,
Impressive. I really like this idea. It's optimism. Wow, very good. And besides that, the other countries showing low. United Arab Emirates. How is it United Arab Emirates? It says very low indulgence. It says you don't really have fun. I don't think so. Is it? Aha, but that's the reason. Okay. In constant indulgence side, Justin said, do not put much emphasis on leisure time and control the gratification of their desires. Okay. Okay. Iran, yeah. Okay. So now, guys, I think you see there is a link. Is there any country that you want to look at it? Anybody from any other country?
Lebanon, maybe.
Lebanon, okay. Any other?
Maybe Turkey.
Okay. Yes. Any other?
Maybe Russia.
Russia, okay. One more. UK. Let's see UK. Okay, now Lebanon. Power distance says 62, so which means is that we can consider still hierarchy, but not as hierarchical as Russia. You see, according to this test, also as far as I know, Russia is one of the highest power distance countries in the world. Very hierarchical. 66, Turkey. Turkey is still considered as a hierarchical country, by the way. Still power distance is high in Turkey, especially when you see United Kingdom. So as I said, guys, Western countries they have in general less power distance, more individualism. You see United Kingdom, how different, 76 individualism. Motivation, generally in Western countries are more feminine, but here we have a different case. United Kingdom also considered as a masculine, because they also prone to, but is it really? Just a minute. Is it really decisive, highly success? Okay, yeah. They are highly success oriented and true, but these days it's also changing. They are highly decisive, true, but these days it's very changing because they are now keen on more like well-being, health, psychology. These days they are a bit different. Uncertainty, again, Western countries are less uncertainty avoidant because they have less turbulence, because when you also consider their economy. Also long-term orientation, again, Western countries are more long-term oriented than us, okay? And indulgence, again, their indulgence is quite high because they are keen on work-life balance issue, okay? Anything interesting here? Uncertainty avoidant culture who is the gray one again? Russia, 95% uncertainty avoidance. And any low? This one, indulgence, Lebanon. Why? You don't enjoy, guys, is it?
It's actually super fun to see that Russia and Kazakhstan is
Very
super
good.
missed because of post-Soviet culture. Actually, I believe.
Exactly, Dara. Exactly. And indulgence, Lebanon. Come here, please.
I would say that's maybe true for some part of people, but not that very true.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
Maybe we are fun people. Yeah.
Actually, here I'm also agree. I agree with you, by the way, about the fun part. But what? Let's see what it says. Lebanon 10. Culture restraint, also in contrast to indulgence, recency do not push emphasis on leisure time, control the behavior desire. People with orientation have perception direction. Okay, interesting. And
I think that may be true for
yes,
the
Yes.
For the older societies, yeah. For the
Okay,
elderly
maybe.
people, yeah.
Yeah, older generation, you mean?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So Turkey, individualist. So it is collectivist. It is still collectivist, even though it is. I agree that, by the way. Power distance, I do agree. We have motivation towards achievement and success. We do have, but not too much, let's say. Uncertainty avoidance, we hate these days also. Yeah, uncertainty avoidance is high for us because of turbulence. Long-term orientation, not really. Long-term orientation, where was it? No, motivation for success 45, long avoidance. Oh, sorry, I missed the part. Turkey is 85, uncertainty avoidance like Kazakhstan. It's changed. Oh, okay, I missed that part. Long-term orientation, of course, low. I told you, very low. And indulgence 49. Good. Good enough. Okay. If you wonder any other country's aspect, you can easily come here and check your countries and compare with the other countries as well. Okay, now I will go back our slides. Sorry, let me share my screen. Yeah. Oh, okay, now we will come to organization. Just give me a second. I will plug this. So we have seen the dimension of national culture. Then, as I told you, you may have your family culture a bit different than national culture, different than the group, the society, the city where you live in. Okay, so what kind, as one of your friends also mentioned, the common values of the groups, right? So we may have a lot of different groups. Imagine, let's say, I live in, belong to Turkish culture, so I have in top of it national culture. I work in BAU, okay? I also sharing and having the culture of the BAU, Bahçeşehir University as an organization, okay? And I'm sharing their values and the culture. Now, I'm coming. We are group of the transition to professional life course. Now we are 30 people. So now, in general, so we somehow, we are also sharing the similar common point because at least we are pursuing to learn something together, okay? And then we also have transition to professional life course culture. So we may have even shorter one, or you, okay, let's continue. We may have a family culture for, let's say, 4 people you are living in one family. And you may have also the street that you live, you may have your neighbors, you are living, let's say, in Üsküdar, in some of the street. So you may even have the Üsküdar culture. You see? So even though we have the common certain points, but each of them may have distinct aspects of it, features of it. Now, organization culture is also very important because since we all going to work in somewhere. So let's see what does it say. And by the way, I have seen before people who refused because the applicant values was quite not matching with the organization culture itself. And that was the exact explanation for that. So when I asked, why didn't you hire this guy? The, let's say, HR or the person who is supposed to recruit said that because of the cultural issue. It doesn't match with our values. That's why we don't want to work with. You see? So even it might be happening. That's why it is very important to understand what kind of culture that we're going to work in it. And also our ultimate purpose will not going to be work with them. Our ultimate point, how much our values really matching to each other. Otherwise, you're not going to be happy. And not going to be productive also, not only the happiness, but how your organization work, how things get done, the interaction between people, the employer relationship, like at working place. How do I call my colleague? Do I call them just by their name? Do I call them Miss, Mr.? Do I call them with their title? Or how do I communicate with anybody who is in different position than me, or anybody, or how do I communicate with the dean, with the department head, with the rectorate? I don't know. Still, you see how much I have this. How much do we engage with each other? Okay, how is our relationship? So that's actually a sign of the culture. Organization culture is a phenomenon that is measured by looking at the practices within the organization, how those practices differ from other organizations. Of course, in my culture, it is easy for me. I don't really feel very power distance, but I work somewhere in government, let's say, and I've seen how hierarchical it is. Okay, so even though we are living in the same city, we are living in the same country, still the organization culture is different. So we call organization culture as a personality of a company. My company has a personality. One of the aspect is dynamic, for me at least. Okay, you see dynamic people, energetic people. So you can easily explain the culture, organization culture, with the personality. Is that what we do in an organization is manifested through the symbols, rituals, beliefs, attitudes, behavior, whatever you call. Okay, national culture determine how we emotionally relate to what we do in an organization. That's very important and very good way to explain it. National culture determine, again, how we emotionally relate to what we do in an organization. That's why I said emotional feeling, emotionally attached to the organization that we are going to work with. It may not be mandatory at the beginning, but for further, you may really need that. Criteria that can be provide detailed information about organization culture. Whatever we discuss for national culture, now we can consider. But even the mission and vision consider as an organizational culture aspect. That's what I was talking about. Whatever you have in an organization, it's considered as a culture. The target, main value, size of the business, organization chart, employee profile, target audience. You see everything in the organization consider as a culture. Customer, how you treat your customer, how you communicate with your customer. The personal selection criteria are even culture. Okay. Market share, it says, is a culture. That's interesting. Like training, working environment, policies, whatever you see in the organization, it's going to be considered as organization culture aspect. Performance evaluation, delegation of authority, ceremonial custom, dressing style, of course, relationships, social activities. Okay, now, national versus organization culture. Please keep this part in your mind. You may see this again somewhere in the future. Okay? That's another tip for you. What is the difference between national culture versus organization culture? Definitely, it is sharing the same belief, values, and practices, right? One is the scope of it, one is the nationwide, one is the organization one. And the national culture, since we're born, we assume that we lived there before. That's why it is learned in early life comparison to the organization culture. And yeah, of course, organization culture can be learned even though you don't know it. So it can be learned in the later stage of the life. Aha, that's the distinction coming. National culture learn subconsciously. However, organization culture learn at conscious level. Why? Why national
Maybe
culture?
because,
Yes, repeat.
maybe because you don't choose nation, but you choose organization.
Okay, that's true. But it also says definitely true. Conscious level, unconsciously, subconsciously, sorry. Why do we choose?
Oja,
Yeah,
can I say?
please.
I think maybe because the national one is like when we are kid, like when we are growing up, we see it all around us. So it's something that we perceive as just being there. But then, like when we go to an organization, the culture is different. So now we have to see, observe, and learn it.
Definitely, definitely. Omit, right? Omit, yes. Definitely. Also, remember this slide. Remember. Here. Culture, here. Form. Do you remember the forming? Which age? Here, look. National culture, formative age, this impression are completely formed by the age of 12 to 14. But we start working minimum after graduation at least, like something 20 years. So it's already formed, national culture. So it is in, as one of your friends mentioned also, now, something inherited. Mohammed, yes, somehow inherited, but still, Mohammed, don't mix that because that's most of the time it's mixing. Look, remember this one. Culture is learned, but I understand your point. Something, yes, something inherited. That's true, by the way. Something inherited, you don't really do subconsciously, okay? But culture can be learned. So please don't make this distinguishment, okay? But I understand your point because we learn subconsciously, that's why. Exactly. So when it's come to the national culture, we learn subconsciously without knowing it. I told you it can change, difficult to change. I want one volunteer here. Don't worry, it will be easy because we want to learn together now. I need a case. I told you. Is there anybody who born in this country, live there 5 years, 10 years, then move up another country, live there 10 years, 5 years, come to Turkey or so I want somebody who had this experience, multinational experience. Any of you?
Yeah, hocam. There
Yusuf?
is a volunteer. Yeah, me.
Okay, Yusuf. Yusuf, tell me, where did you born?
Born and raised in Saudi Arabia, but I'm not
Wait,
from Saudi Arabia. Okay,
okay, wait, I have to note now. Wait, give me a
of
second.
course. Take your
Okay.
time.
Okay, look, now, until what age you live in Saudi? No, where did you born?
Saudi Arabia.
Okay, wait. Saudi Arabia, you born in
Yeah.
Riyadh? Where?
And Jeddah.
Jeddah.
Yeah.
I'm going Jeddah in one month. I'll let you know.
Hoş geldin hocam.
Hoş bulduk. Okay, Saudi Arabia. You born there. Until then, what did you do? Until what age do you live there?
I've been living in Saudi Arabia my whole life, visiting my country, Lebanon, every once in a while. And then I stayed in Lebanon for 4 years straight after I was 12. And then I moved back to Saudi Arabia until the age of 19. And then I came to Turkey. Bugüne kadar.
Wait. You born in Saudi Arabia. You live until 12, then you go to Lebanon.
Yes.
12 Lebanon. So between 12 to 16, you live in Lebanon?
Yes. And 16 to 19, Saudi Arabia again.
Wait. 16 to
Take your
9. I'm drawing the chart. Wait.
No, of course, take your time.
And then you came to Turkey.
When I was 19.
How old are you now?
23.
4 years you're in Turkey also. Okay.
Doğru.
Okay. So here, Turkey. Here again, Saudi Arabia. Here is Lebanon. Here, you are a very good case for me. Wait.
Oh, thank you so much.
Saudi Arabia. I'm in for this research. Okay. Look, now I have a question.
Of course.
So Yusuf, your case will be, according to research, let's judge the research now. Research
course.
tells us it is formed, national culture formed, especially the age of between 12 to 14, okay?
Okay.
When we ask you your national culture, which one do you think which one is more dominant? Which one you feel, for example, you feel more Saudi Arabian, Lebanese, or how is it?
Well, to be honest, culture-wise and growing up-wise and everything, yes, you have a point on that one because, as a child being born and raised in an area, basically you're going to acquire all of the cultural, what do you call them, acquisitions from a certain country.
Yes.
So, yeah, deep down in me, I feel like I'm a little bit Saudi. At the same time, I'm Lebanese. So, like, I embrace both of them at the same time. But who do I embrace more? The Saudi one, because I'm more used to it since I've been living there my whole life.
Good. And let me ask one more question.
Of course, take your time.
Turkey, because you came to Turkey on 19, okay, which is a quite conscious level.
Yeah.
And you live in Turkey like 4 years. How much, not the belonging maybe, how much do you think you are carrying some national cultural aspect? How much? I don't know. You may not maybe.
Yüzde Türk oldum zaten.
Okay, but like how much?
Like more than 70%. I love this country. I love the culture. I love everything about it. It's starting to change me a little bit inside. And whenever I go to visit my family for vacation, I feel like I have a toxic relationship with this, what do you call it? This surrounding. Because as soon as I leave it, I miss it,
Okay.
So, yeah.
So you start, okay, you learning it consciously.
Yeah.
Okay, good point. Because look what he said. He's saying that we see that he make the comparison. He see how he also know the reason of why he started to love the Turkey, because also he's in a conscious level currently. That's why he can learn the culture of Turkey in conscious level. Thank you very much, Yusuf. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time, Hoca.
Because when we can now go back to this one, even though this is the culture form at the age of 12 to 14. This is exactly what he said. He was until 12 Saudi Arabia, but then to Lebanese. So this is the cultural formation point. So he's carrying both Saudi Arabian, Lebanese cultural aspect together until the 19 age. So from 19 to now, last 4 years, he's now also adapting the Turkish culture because that's he choose. Look, that he choose. That's what I'm saying. Organization culture will be the similar effect on you. If you like the culture, if you find it reasonable, if you find it, okay, that culture really fit into my values. I really like living here, or I really like working in this organization because it's fitting me. Then you start getting the culture aspect. You learn it consciously. Okay, I like it, this example. Anybody else? Similar to that one, or something anybody else? Okay, Majed. Originally Syrian, born in Saudi Arabia, lived for 12 years, then moved to Turkey and been here for the past 7 years. Majid. Okay, so born in Saudi Arabia, lived. Majid, yes, you are another case. Let me also ask you. How much you carry, do you think, Syrian, Arabian, Turkish culture? Are you, for example, carrying any aspect from Syria? Majid, you cannot use your microphone, I guess. Is it? Okay, until Majid responds. Like, is there anybody else who can say, I have a similar thing, but mine is vice versa? I don't think I carry this cultural aspect of the country that I live or I born. I don't know. Okay, Majid mentioned 25% Syrian, 35 Saudi, 42. Wow, 40 Turkish. Okay, I think again is a similar issue because 25 is coming from the family, because it's transferring. Saudi, that's the formation age because until the 13. But Majid, you are another case. That's the 110. Yusuf, okay, good catch. I didn't really catch when I just first look. But Majid, that's a good point. That's becoming very funny now because yes, this is exactly 100. You say, how did you calculate? Anyway, Majid, your issue is Simran. The question, Simran, come and join us. I was asking. The question is, here we are discussing the people who born in different country, who raised another country, who currently live in Turkey, like Majid, like Yusuf, okay? So we are trying to understand how much of the culture that you are carrying it with you, how much you believe that you feel belonging, how much you learn it, which one. So we're discussing this issue. And the Mashhad case is also another case. He feel more Turkish than Saudi and Syrian, even though one of them he born, one of them his ancestor belonged to. But since he came to Turkey when he then moved to Turkey to teenage, you see again, because it's still forming procedures. That's why he feels more belonging to Turkey, to teenage, okay? Simran, do you have any case like this? Where are you from?
I'm texting, teacher.
You texting?
Yes, actually, I can say it.
Say it, please.
Actually, my nationality is Uzbek,
Okay.
but I have born in Kazakhstan, and all my life was in Kazakhstan.
Okay.
Mm,
Uzbek,
but
Kazakhstan. Now we are in Turkey. Yes.
but I live in Turkey for like 4 years, and right now I can't clearly say who am I. But at the same time, I can speak fluently in 5 languages, so I feel like every this kind of language, they're like part of me. So
That's another
that,
issue. Okay, different points.
yes,
How
teacher.
language affect?
And also my brother did like genetically a test.
Okay.
Like it shows which kind of nationalities you have in your blood.
Okay.
I don't know if I call it right, but this
Yes.
test showed that, for example, I have 20% of Turkish blood.
Of course, guys.
Yes.
You're Turkmenistan, Kazakh. We just talked with Zara. Our genes are quite like coming from
Yes,
a
yes,
similar
we are
area.
Turkic countries, so I
Exactly.
even learned Turkish language so fast because there are so many similar words to my mother tongue.
Exactly.
So in 5 months, I started talking like
Talking Turkish, right? Okay.
yes,
Okay.
like this.
Simba. But I think your case is more like because they are which 3 country you mentioned? they're all like we call Turkey countries as well.
Yes.
So I believe your issue is more like you may feel more combination of three guys again, but
Yes. Yes.
since the origin comes from the same, your issue probably more like Turkic way of, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right,
Yeah.
teacher.
Yeah. Dara.
I wanted to ask a question a little bit about also the culture. It's nice actually to hear people from Kazakhstan. That was really nice. But I also wanted to ask, like, for example, I was born and raised in Kazakhstan, but I was living in Turkey for only like 2 years or something. But my parents spent most of their lives abroad, like UK and America, and that's why it's I want to ask, like, what about like the family thing, because they're Kazakhs but they have another citizenship, they have another culture, and it mixed up.
Okay, good point.
Kind of
Yes,
like
Dara. Let's
about
see. Yeah, exactly. Let's see that one. But your issue, you only lived in Kazakhstan and born in except Turkey last 2 years, right, Dara?
yes.
Okay. Not your family. Your parents, right? You said your parents.
Yes, UK, America, my
Good.
parents.
Okay, look now. Do you see here? Look, that's a good case also. Majed mentioned, even though he just born in, sorry, he's originally, so his root coming from Syria, but he born in Saudi Arabia. But and when the answer comes, he says 25% of the Syrian. So how does it relate? We say that yes, culture is learned, but since we learn subconsciously, also we learn from our family, especially when our forming age, they are the who grown, with whom we grown up, right? So you may even say it like, uh, for example, you may be grown up not by your family, you may be grown up through another person who give you a care and who is from different nationality. You may even have that sort of cultural aspect in you also, because this forming is quite important. Whom with you grown up, it's also affecting your cultural issue. So I can't, of course, give you precise rate of how much you have it, but definitely you have some aspect of it. Also, it also depends actually on your families, in which age again they live there, for how long they live there, how much they still carrying this cultural aspect, and how much they reflect to you. That's also related with that, okay? But if they really having this sort of issues, probably you also get some of them from them. So not maybe a very high percentage, but still you may have a even small percentage of that cultural aspect on you. Clear?
Yes, it is. Thank you very much.
Okay, so after couldn't accumulate 100 altogether, including me, so we can continue now. Okay, now here I will give just 10 minutes, not more, okay? 10-minute break, and we'll continue with that. Okay, let's go back. All right. Now on. How culture can affect the business success? That question is supposed to come to you, not to me, actually. But I will ask you another question. Let me first finish this one, and then come to the one more question, which will come to you. Okay? I told you, if you remember, I have seen one person apply to a job, and when I asked, why didn't you hire this guy? They told me that because this person doesn't fit to our cultural values. Even though this guy is very competent, well, like very assertive, hardworking, but his values are not really his personality. Even it might be, it's not really matching to our culture. Because people think that being in a competent, having a very high skill, not maybe, but soft plus the other one, hard skills as well, is not always enough for working life. Also, it's related with of course, the expectation of the candidates, and also another one we say job personality fit. Uh, Also, it depends on if it's, for example, too much, your competencies, it's very too much for that job position, probably you may also not going to be hired, for example. You may say, come on, I was too good for this position. Why they didn't hire me? Because you're too good for this position. That's also an issue, by the way, because the employee is knowing that if you come to that job, it's not going to meet with your expectation, and then you are not going to be happy at the end of it. Then your productivity will be dropped. Plus, your motivation will impact to others as well. Then it will be the synergy will change in the working environment as well. So it is very important. Another thing, I also have seen it in my life, in real life, the teamwork. As I said, you may be quite compatible, but your is not really fitting the current team that you are going to work with. Again, that's an issue for the employee. Employee will say, I'm here, 12 people in a team working together. They're working in a consensus, in a synergic way. However, if you come in this team, you may damage my team. I don't want that. You may be very good, but this is what I don't need. Okay, so that's why it is very important to know this sort of aspect, and that's another reason why how culture can affect and why culture can affect the business success. Because of that, the beliefs come together, they create the values. Those values become norms, and those norms, the output of the norms will be behavior, will be act in an organization, right? So if the belief that paying attention to the customer and their needs will play a critical role in the success of a business is widespread within the business, the value that develop accordingly is customer focus and the norms to realize this value, offering a product at standards that meet customer expectation and blah, 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 blah. But what is trying to say here? If you know that your belief in a company is your ultimate aim is to increase customer satisfaction, that if you have that belief and it will become your value, then it will become a norm. At the end of it, the customer expectation will be higher. This is what the expectation is. Okay, so that's why culture is very under the needs. So you don't really seeing it, but you're acting it. So it is very important for how culture can affect businesses. But this is a very long topic, by the way. I suggest you to search this question. Okay, another tip for today. I may want you to discuss this one. Okay, I don't really have time to discuss this for 1 hour, but I really want you to discuss this question by yourself. Okay, you can perceive it as a even homework, but I don't really collect it as a homework. But that's a tip for you. Okay, and here the shine strategies to be followed to activate cultural change. We know that cultural change is difficult. We know it, especially national culture. But organization culture is also quite resistant to change as well. Question coming to you now. If you want to change the culture in an organization, where would you start?
In organization?
Yeah, if you want to, yes, change the culture in an organization, where would you start?
From the very peak of organization, like the main bosses and everything, probably.
You mean the leadership?
Yeah.
So you would start to change the leadership, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yes, exactly. I agree with you. Because if you want to change everything under, and then if you don't start with the leadership, how will leader implement it? How leader will follow it? So first, your role needs to be start with the leader, whether leader adopt this change, whether leader accept that change or capable of changes, or you change the leader. So cultural change, creating motivation, yes. Cultural change must be slowly, guys. Really, it must be slowly. Otherwise, you would really be unsuccessful in an organization. If you want to change something in an organization, it must be slow. Slow mean also you want to provide the reasoning also. Creating motivation for cultural change, yes. If you don't motivate your employees, your subordinate, whatever it is, we're going to change these procedures, the norm, the values, the way of doing business, because we want to increase this. We will do that because it will impact this. Our current way of doing business is really affecting this. So people should believe that. People should believe change is needed. It will be good impact at the end of it. Otherwise, they will resist the change, or they will just do it without putting emphasis on it, without really caring of it. Okay, even like I can give you a very good example, like accreditation processes at the universities. Okay, if you apply for accreditation, so let's say sort of a certification and standardization. Okay, even at the university, if you want to apply for that, you have to follow a lot of rule, paperwork, bureaucratic things, and it's a long-term process. It will be a new workload for people. Okay, even changing the UMIS, let's say. Previously, we had another one. Now you are using UMIS, for example. That's a cultural change, by the way. Even that one created, I don't really know, but I'm sure. I mean, I know complaining about changing the system in an organization. If you don't provide the reasoning why you change OMIS, for example, why you try to get this certification, you want to make sure that your subordinate, your worker, will know it's learning to team. Yeah, Aisha, previously, currently it's learning to team. Before it's learning, we had another one. They changed from that one to it's learning. Also, before UMIS, you had, what was the name? OIS. I think you had OIS before UMIS. So I'm talking about that one. Even that one, by the way, changing from the teams to, but luckily, we were using teams already, so we know it. If we didn't know it, then watch it. Okay, then that will be a problem for everybody, especially for professor. They're resisting to change. They do. They say, why? It's giving me a hard time. I don't want to change it. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. In an organization, you will see the similar approach. Even you will say that I want to change the coffee machine. You will see people started to complain about this, even though it's for better reason. But you have to create the motivation and provide the reasoning to change it. Problems, opportunity, deficiencies, everything. It needs to be clearly state that we do that, we change it because we had this problem. But now, if we change it, there will be no problem about this. We want to improve things. That's why we're changing it. Okay? And the change goal must be clear, achievable. Yeah. Remember our SMART goal. If it's just a plan, if it's just like not a plan, just like a dream, if we will do this, we will do that, we will do blah, 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 you see? But if you don't really see that change at the end of it, then watch it again. What kind of compliment you will going to get? Continuity. Yeah, that's another story. At the beginning, people are more prone, eager to, willing to do things. But then continue, when it's become continuity, it's another issue. Positive vision. Yeah, it is. Charismatic leadership. It is. That's why I said at the beginning, you have to be sure that your leader, your manager are okay with that. They are okay. They're motivated enough to change this, okay? If also they are not motivated, you will feel it. Oh, come on, even the manager don't really want this change. Why I should do that? A realistic, concrete plan. That's why I said not dream, plan, and SMART goals. Understanding the risks and rewards. So you should be knowing. In some cases, people are afraid to development. Yes, exactly, Yusuf. And even if it might lead to better outcomes, since it will get them out of their comfort zone. Yusuf, yes, our comfort zone, plus it might be new workloads, plus it might be new segment, new window in your brain. Okay, so you don't want your brain to open up a new window. Okay, you're okay with that, easy. So you may see that I don't want to learn. It's happening. But if you really make people to believe that actually changes will, the output of the change will be really beneficial, people, at least they will put some effort on it. Okay. And again, personality do matters about this as well. We shouldn't forget. Yeah, you see, I keep it blank for you. Okay, I promise that will be last question to you. What is strong culture? How do you understand this culture is a strong? Okay.
It has strong fundament, maybe.
Fundaments? Uh-huh.
Yeah, I
How
mean,
do you?
Can we say it?
Omid, go ahead.
Can we say it's a flexible culture?
About what? Go ahead.
I mean, like about like anything as we know it. If you don't learn, if you don't improve, and if you don't flex, you're gonna be destroyed. You're gonna be phased out. So a strong culture, in my mind, would be something that could adapt itself to different situations and
Aha,
go ahead and
adaptation.
improve.
Adaptation. Now clear.
Yes.
Okay. Because flexibility somehow still I will come back to you. I just take note now. Okay. Flexibility said about Omid. Okay. I will come back to that point because that's more than that. Mohammed. Go ahead, Mohammed.
How much it's affect in your personality?
Ah, interesting. How much it affect your personality? So you mean that? Give me an example.
For example, actually, I don't have example.
Okay, Mohammed. I think I understand your point. How much it affect your personality? How much it affect? I will go with the Aishat. I'm taking note. How much it affect your personality? Aishat, go ahead.
So I think a strong culture is when people share the same similar values, like especially in a workplace, something that like creates unity and motivation and consistency for
Very good.
your goal achievement, basically.
Yeah, very good. Unity. You feel united and strong
Yeah.
culture. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have more. Yusuf, go.
Well, Hoja, I believe a strong culture is based off upon shared core values and consistent practices. What's with the
Okay.
consistent practices and basically with traditions as well. So speaking about,
Okay.
like, as an example, I'm Arab. Okay, so in the Arabian traditions, we are very generous in food giving, or when a guest is over, we have to
You
show
are.
generosity.
I
Like
know you are.
these are the Arab traditions and consistent practices. As an example, I'll give
Okay.
you an example about consistent practices. I have a lot of Russian friends, and one of their traditions in Russia and in these countries, they have love for combat sports. So ever since they're children, they're young in age, they always compete in combat sports. Whereas the Arabs and our cultures, we compete in soccer and basketball and swimming. So these are different cultures and different traditions that people can grow up on. So if you see an Arab from far away, the first stereotype, they're generous. If you see, let's say, as an example, someone from the Caucasus, you're gonna be okay. I'm not gonna mess with them because they have a lot of background on combat sports. So it's all based off of traditions and stereotypes. What makes
Okay.
it stronger is, of course, consistent practices and effective transmissions and adaptability to take these cultures to other parts of the world.
Good. 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 Consistent practices, adaptability. As Omid mentioned, flexibility, but that flexibility makes you more adaptable. So that's why it's still acceptable. Adaptability is the another word for that. Okay. We have more. Go ahead. Go ahead. Strong culture
Well,
is a
we have
long
leadership
topic.
as well.
Leadership. Okay,
Yeah,
strong leader.
strong leadership and as well history leadership
Do
as
you,
well
okay,
plays a big role.
who, okay, give me an, okay, let's continue with the national culture now.
Okay,
Who you believe is the strong culture? Who has a strong culture, nation-wise?
Arabs, I believe.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
go ahead. Yes, yes, go ahead. Any
Do you
other
want me to
country?
explain why, or do I
No,
shall I
I
give
know.
more
You already
examples?
explained. No, 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 you already explained it. It's very clear.
Okay,
I guess.
so you have the Arabs. You have the Arabs. They have strong cultures. You have the Caucasus Mountains. They have strong cultures. The Europeans have a strong culture. What else?
European has
Yeah,
strong culture. Why?
like Spanish, like Spanish culture as an example. If you've read the
Uh-huh.
history of the Spanish, it's really nice. It's very interesting. I've read a lot about them, and I've
Okay.
had a lot of friends from there. What they tell me about their traditions and cultures, it's nice. It's really nice, and they have festivals every year, just like how India
Okay.
have festivals, the color festivals for the Indians.
Okay.
In what do you call it? In Spain, actually, they have a festival based off of tomatoes, and I was really
Uh-huh.
surprised about that. So there's a lot
Okay.
of what do you call it? I forgot the word.
Rituals.
Yeah,
Rituals.
rituals basically. There's a lot of rituals all around the world. They're all respected, but who's the strongest? We cannot decide that since
No,
everyone
no,
is
no.
born and raised in a certain area.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I'm not asking the strongest. I'm asking your perception in general. How do you see this country? But you explain very well.
that's
It's
very
like a
interesting to
Spain
be honest.
also. Yeah, like a
Yeah,
Spain. It is clear that from your perspective, yeah, Spain seems a strong culture because they are still continuing their rituals every year, and also people who are belong to their history as well. That's also a sign for it. And do we should we also consider like how much do they share the similar pattern? Can we say that?
you can between the lattice countries. Yes, you can say that.
Okay, right? Strong
Yeah,
culture means also how much they are sharing the similar patterns. When you see
of
this
course.
Spanish, when you see this Spanish, for example, this Spanish, you see that they are really sharing the similar patterns. So that tells us strong culture, right? Okay, good point.
Exactly.
Thank you. And now
Great.
we have Aisha.
Okay, so I have like let's say 7 countries I think that like have like strong cultures from my perspective. And I think the first one should be Japan when it comes to their hard work, like their like corporate work life. They are really like hardworking when it comes to something like that. And they take it serious.
Mm,
And China, like I think China too, you can say they have strong culture. India also, when it comes to religion wise based, they are really like when it comes to their religion, they really take it serious. Saudi
It
too.
is.
Saudi Arabia, I'm guessing I would say like with the influence of the Islamic values. Turkey also, they have a mixture of almost everything. So they have like strong cultural but Nigeria, I would obviously say my country because yeah, we are actually rich when it comes to cultural heritage with this deep respect to community
As
and
far as
also
I
South
know,
Korea.
yes. Nigeria is also very, as far as I know, they are very
Yeah.
also connected to their culture as well.
Yep, to our roots, yes. And also South Korea, you can say something like that. So those are the countries so far I know I can say they are like. But I think I agree with him. Yes, Spain too. They have strong cultural values.
Values, right? Good points. Okay, we agree with that. Strong culture mean. Uh, One of my professors give me a good example. For organization also now. Okay, how do you understand this organization has a strong culture? Okay, he gave me this example and I like it. If you went in an organization, if you see people, the employees, different employees, if you realize they act in the same way, they talk not the maybe same way exactly, but if you see they really act in a similar way, they think in a similar way, their values are quite similar. If you really see in an organization how they're similar to each other, how united they are, then like how do you feel like they're a team, and then you see, okay, here this organization has a strong culture. Okay, so I always keep that example in my mind. So I do believe that as well. But what about the obstacle? Now we always talk about the good part. What about the bad part of being strong culture?
Politically speaking, being a target.
Okay, okay,
That's
yeah,
one of the downs of having a strong culture. Being a
yeah,
target, stereotypes as well,
yes,
like racist stereotypes.
yes.
What else? Getting put in roles that are not for you, but based off of stereotypes, you get certain roles
Yeah, yeah. What about in organization?
in organizations. Next question. I'm gonna have to think.
Yeah, think about
Overworking people.
again, Aisha.
They overwork people. Like Japan, they're overworked, I think.
Aha,
Stress.
okay. They overwork. Okay, for Japan culture it is, but when we think of other countries, it might be different. Dara,
Work-life balance problems, maybe.
could be, yeah, yeah. Work-life balance. What else? Omit.
So if you have a company that everyone acts like everyone else, like it's either very hard to stand out, as in trying to like show yourself, and also in the other way, it's also very hard to be the one like apart. Like if you have a good idea, but you cannot, for example, maybe present it because the maybe
That's
the culture
yes.
is very close.
I understand. I was looking for this answer. Yes, Omit. Resistance to change, guys. If everybody act in the same way, if everybody share the same value, if everybody is thinking in the same way, who is going to do innovation then? Or you still have, like he said, you may have in the same organization, by the way, you may still have a very good idea, innovative idea, but you are hesitating to say it out loud. You may say, hey guys, maybe this might be a very good opportunity for us, but we have to change this. But the rest of them would go back to you, would tell you, and I've really seen it, by the way, also in Turkey, unfortunately, because that new innovation will be cost for them, overload, like more work. Okay, so people say, don't say it loudly. Okay, if you say it loudly, yes, it's a good idea. Probably they want us to make it, but we don't want to do it. We are happy, like whatever we're doing currently. You see, so it is very. Sometimes it's very difficult to be. Yeah, Omid, go ahead.
I think actually that goes back to some of the nations that people mentioned as very strong cultures, because those are very perceived as strong cultures because they're very rigid, like Japan, like communist China, of course. Like some of the most rigid cultures that doesn't allow, like for example, Japan is very patriarchal, and well, of course, communist China doesn't like any adversity like inside it. So like and others actually that have been mentioned.
Very good. Yes, yes, exactly. They are still considered as a strong culture. However, as Omid mentioned, guys, I saw this one. I really want to share this since this is a culture course. I'm going to share you my experience with a Chinese colleague in UK. That will be my last example for that. Then we will have a very nice video. Okay, hang on. So the I didn't really know that much because of course I had a friend from China, but I didn't work them together previously very, very closely. So this guy was also a researcher. We were sharing the same room. So we every day we work in the same room, okay, and we discuss some ideas. And then we started talking about the in general, of course, the way of the in China, how does it work, how the research area works, because research area like academia is a bit different than the normal organization, okay, because in academia we supposed to be more freedom, because that's the idea of it. We want to do it, be more innovative, we want to create things, we want to provide new theories, new ideas, right, solution. So we have to be innovative at the end of it. Critical thinker, skeptic, okay, critical. So, but I realized that guy was very like hesitating to share his ideas in general. He never want to be like opposed, objected. He was very like secretive also. Yes, secretive, that's true. Um, of course, I don't want to make generalization, but I'm just telling you what he shared with me. How does it work in China, the academia also, including academia? And he said that it's very different working life in China. It's definitely very competitive, very hardworking. Like you give example about this Japan is exactly the same what he said. It is like they are working 7 days, even during the weekend. In UK, I was asking, what do you have done during the weekend? I just work, work, work. What else? Did you meet with anybody? He just came. No. Do you have any social activity? No, nothing. And then we started to like kind of discuss this. Like, do you think is it really good? Because we also need to. Yeah, it is an introvert, but Yusuf, the point you can be still introvert. I'm not telling you that you have to be very social butterfly. You have to go out, meet with people, do this. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm actually talking about more than that. This is about culture, because he told me that, for example, he gave me some example about the speaking up. When I was trying to tell him the soft skills thing, okay, I was trying to not to teach, but trying to give some suggestion to how to speak up, what are the things to be careful on. So mainly soft skills we were talking about. And he told me that in China, we don't like people like you said. I said, why? Because he said you're saying, criticizing, you're speaking up, like leading, freely saying, discussing, very like a out like a like speak up. Yeah, that's it. Uh, we don't really like, not me, he said, but the organization in general, they don't really like people who has a like sort of leadership skills also. I say, why? That's super weird to me. He said, because of the political system and in the government, uh, that's why they are super hardworking. But he told me that I realized when I came to UK, I realized how I become machine. Okay, literally work like a machine. Okay, I just do work. Without work, I don't do anything. I don't even ask myself, am I doing right? Is it really the true way of doing it? Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say, guys. This is culture, very deep roots. I mean, inside of it. So it is strong culture. I do agree with that. By the way, that might be, you may say, it doesn't have to be the all around the China, but we are talking about at least the city, the Shanghai he lives in general, the academia. But yeah, it gives us a lot of clue about the culture. Okay, I don't know how much you agree with that, but yeah, this is how it is. Okay, so not this one, not now. Okay, now I'm going to show you the fun part. These are example. I add here consciously. These are from the book. These are some example. Technology tip, generational preferences in communication technology. I advise you to have a look, okay, while you're studying it. But now we don't really have time for this. But okay, just last thing before showing you the video. The way how Western talk, how Chinese talk also. Western directly say, do you understand? Chinese, am I being clear? Okay, without trying to not, because they're, by the way, I do respect, I do love, please don't misunderstand about the culture of China, of course. They're very hardworking, very respectful, okay? Just that's what their culture is, okay? So is the project acceptable in Western culture? What do you think of the project? Like, do you see how they are asking, how do they approach the same question? And we can't do that in Western culture, very direct. But in Western, this China, this may be a little difficult for us to do, okay? So see the differences. Okay, this one, not this one, the second one, this guy. I will now share my screen. For self-assessment, will have a cultural intelligence survey next week, but not today. It might take a few while. Ekran. See chat. Let me share, then tell me whether I see it clearly or not, my screen. This one, and you can whether you can hear this guy clearly. Can you hear? No, I can't read. Say it.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
I was saying, Ozan, sorry.
It's really great to be in Berlin.
Yeah, I was saying the play on words when giving a speech is a great way to acquire your needs without being negative. Even though the message that I'm sending can be negative, the play on words itself can toggle it and make it positive. So instead of saying a no, there's a lot of ways to flip the no and be satisfied with them.
Now, okay, you said the play on words when giving a speech is a great way to acquire your needs without being negative. It is a great way to acquire your needs without being, yeah, exactly. But I do agree with that, by the way. Yeah, I do agree with that. Okay, so now on, I'll go back to this video. After watching this guy, again, guys, remember my suggestion. Try to take some keywords that we can discuss at least at 10 minutes at the end of the video, okay? So try to take some notes from the video. Again,
Bergen, this is the second time this
you hear it, no problem, right?
Yes.
Good.
It's really great to be in Bergen. This is the second time this week I'm in Bergen. I live in Oslo. I guess I'm living in the wrong place. Yeah. As you quite rightly say, my name, Pellegrino, which is my first name, means pilgrim. It was given to me by my Italian parents. It's as if they knew what I was going to do for the rest of my life. You know, let's give him the name Pilgrim and then he'll travel the world. And that's basically what I do. This is my workplace. I do a lot of traveling. I could give you a fancy title of what I do, but what I really do is I try to help people communicate better, especially in a global business world. So I try to help people communicate better with other nationalities. Now, you know, the first thing you think of when you work with other nationalities in cross-cultural communication is, let's look at the other cultures. Well, I take a slightly different approach. I say to people, take a look at yourself. So I'm going to talk a lot about perception, because it's all about perception, understanding what people see. Now, as you say, I have Italian in me. I have a lot of British in me. Some people are often surprised by my English accent. It's quite nice, isn't it? Yeah? Because you weren't expecting this. I know you weren't. You know, you're expecting me to speak with the Italian accent. Yeah? Don't speak like that. And I've been in Norway for over a third of my life, actually. So I've got a lot of Norwegian in me as well. And I love what I like doing with people. I have these little social experiments to test their perception of me. Now, as I say, I travel a lot. So I like playing with the airlines. I like going up to the airlines and talking English, or sometimes I talk with an Italian accent to see what kind of reactions I get. And English is the best one. If you want good service, you speak English like I do. It's fantastic. People take you seriously. Well, they do, you know. I mean, yesterday the plane to Bergen was late, you know, and if I go up and say, excuse me, it's 30 minutes late, I'm a punctual person, I don't like being late, you know, they just take you seriously. But yesterday I thought I'd try it in an Italian accent. So I went up and I actually said, you know, excuse me, but the plane is 30 minutes late, I'm a punctual person, you know. Exactly. I got the same reaction as you did there, yeah? And this is one of the problems of working with other nationalities. You know, people see what they want to see, and they don't always see what you see. And this is one of the challenges. Now, just before we get into it, culture, let's look at culture. Culture, my definition of culture, and I know this doesn't cover everything, but let's keep it simple. I usually do 2-day workshops on this. I've got 18 minutes. A system of behavior that helps us act in an accepted or familiar way. Keywords there, accepted or familiar. We're basically doing things which are accepted in our social group and which are familiar. So a lot of my work is actually explaining Norwegian behavior to other nationalities. So I'm constantly looking for this sort of, can we describe a Norwegian in a nutshell? And I think I found it. I found this fantastic text on the internet. I want you to read it with me. It's worth reading, eh? If you were to use a color to describe this person, he would have to be green. He lives in isolation in his home, a place he best describes as his and cozy. However, he's not the most receptive of people when it comes to visitors. Okay? The typical Norwegian. He is somewhat primitive, but he is honest, straightforward, and all he really wants in life are the simple little pleasures like peace and quiet. Do you recognize any of this? There are some key words that kind of, can you see that? They jump out at you. And you think, okay, it's a stereotype, but a lot of this is a bit true. And I show this to Norwegians, and they kind of nod, yeah, okay, I'll give you that one. And then I surprise them. This is a description not of a Norwegian, but of a Hollywood film star. Yeah, would you like to know who it is? There it is. It's that person there. And the point about this is you often believe what people tell you as well, you know? I could sit there and tell you this is a Norwegian, yeah, and you believe it. It's not a Norwegian at all, although maybe this could be a Norwegian. There he is going off to his house there. But there are many words in there which are accepted and familiar. Accepted and familiar. Now, another accepted and familiar thing about Norwegian life is the Norwegian forest. I live in the Oslo area, it's all forest. And working across borders is basically, you know, not accepting completely that your assumptions are the assumptions of others. I mean, that's logic, you know, common sense. And the Norwegian forest is a good thing, isn't it? Norwegians in the room. It's all good. It's fresh air, it's nature, it's elks, it's skiing. It's fantastic. Well, that's what my wife thought the first time my father visited us in Norway, because she thought we would do something nice. So my wife asked my Italian father, would you like to go for a walk in the forest? And my father looked at her and said, why? And I had to explain to my wife that you can't say to, if you say to another Italian, hey, you and me, we go for a walk in the forest, that means something else. You don't do that, yeah? But how can you know that, you know? Because, you know, how could she know that? Accepted and familiar. You know, at the time we went for a drive. We went for a drive with my father, and we're all looking at the same thing. Look at this, you know, beautiful Norwegian landscape. And my father's taking photographs, you know, that he wants to show his friends. And the road is kind of bumpy, so he says to my wife, could you slow the car down, please? Stop the car. I want to take a proper photograph. And my wife says, but Mr. Riccardi, there's nothing here. And he looks at her and he says to her, I know, I never seen nothing before. But, you know, but what was amazing with this is we're looking at the same pictures and we're using completely different words to describe it. And this is the challenge of working across borders. We've got different ideas of accepted and familiar. Here's what's accepted and familiar to me when I queue. I was raised in the UK. We are the world champions of queuing, waiting in line. And you know, aren't we? We're fantastic, yeah? You know, if you're waiting in line in a supermarket in the UK, let's say there are 10 people waiting in line. And we're all getting a bit impatient, you know, because we're all waiting in line. And then they open a new cash register. Do you know what will happen in the UK? The first 4 people, they won't move. They'll stay in the queue. The next 6 people will move to the next cash register in more or less the same order. And they kind of check with each other. And if they open another cash register, the same will happen. It's like a formation dance. It's fantastic, eh? Would the same happen in Norway? No. What would happen if they shout out, in Norwegian it's ledig kasse, which is available cash register? What happens? Everybody goes for it. It's first come, first served. Isn't that what's accepted and familiar? Now, the first time that happened to me, I was shocked. And I said some not very nice things about Norwegians. But, you know, you've got to dig a bit deeper to find out, why do Norwegians do that? Why are they running for that cash register? Why is it a free-for-all and first come served? I think it's got to do with this. What, they say? This is the King of Norway on a train in 1973, that guy in the cap on the right. This is equality. And I think the queuing system in Norway is all about equality. First come, first served is about equality. And it's the ability to dig under the surface and find out what the underlying values are. That's how you know how to communicate with people. And this thing with equality is really important in Norway. It's the reason we're so laid back with each other. We don't bother with titles. We dress casually. It makes a fantastic business environment, actually, doesn't it? But sometimes this can take you a little bit by surprise. And in those situations where you feel uncomfortable or irritated, we have a tendency to jump to the negative conclusions rather than the positive conclusions, you know? And I mean, I travel all over the world. And I know you're not supposed to, this isn't an advertisement for the airlines, but it's Scandinavian Airlines, and it's Lufthansa, and it's Singapore Airlines. And everybody knows that Singapore Airlines has the best service. Why? Because they have a whole lot more hierarchy in their societies. And therefore, when they serve you, they serve you. And Singapore Airlines staff, I don't know if you've ever been on the Singapore Airlines flight, but you just from the moment they welcome you, they look like they're going to serve you, don't they? I mean, it's just the body language. It's like anything for you, sir. Now, if a Scandinavian Airlines person did this when you came on, yeah, exactly, you would get suspicious, wouldn't you? What's going on? Because it's not accepted or familiar. That's it, you know? This is what it's all about. So this is how we do it. And look at the space. Space is important. Nobody's touching. And if you go to somewhere like Finland, that space becomes even more. Can you see? Look at it. It's fantastic. And look at the way they queue in France. There's nothing like the way I'm used to queuing. And it's different every day. It's never the same. And in some cultures, you need a bit more motivation to stand in line. And this is my favorite one. This is fantastic. Look at this. Huh? Isn't that great? They're all different. We're all doing the same thing in slightly different ways. Now, how do you get across borders? How do you navigate through this? Because you can't learn all the codes. It's impossible. Here's a tip. This is what I'm really passionate about. Curiosity. I am, have been, always will be a curious person. Curiosity gets you through a lot of things. I believe you can ask any question to anybody about just about anything, provided you do it with curiosity. That's it. And curiosity is a great thing. Now, I've got 3 kids. Kids are the most curious creatures on the planet. A recent survey I read, I don't know if I believe this, but I have to quote it. Apparently, 4-year-olds will ask up to 390 questions per day. 82% of those questions will be to mothers rather than fathers. You know why? Because when the kid goes to the father, what does the father say? Go and ask your mother, yeah? You know? Curiosity is so important, you know. And I remember the time, you know, one of the most difficult situations I had, I was having a meal in Helsinki in Finland. And I was sitting there, and the thing is, Italians, when we eat, we talk. We have to talk, actually. We eat and we talk, we eat and we talk. And we're not alone on that, actually. There are many cultures that do that. Finns, on the other hand, don't have to talk. They can talk, but they don't have to. So I'm sitting next to this Finn, and I'm trying to be curious and create conversation. And I thought, okay, small talk. The rules of engagement of small talk. Rule number 1, ask a simple question. Curious, simple question. Rule number 2, listen to the answer, pick out a word, follow up that word. It's really simple, actually. So I was there, and this quiet Finn was sitting next to me, and I turned to him and I said, so have you lived in Helsinki all your life? And he looked at me a little strangely and he said, not yet. Moments like this, you know, which word do I follow up on? Not yet, you know. They really challenge your curiosity, but you've got to be curious, and it's really simple. Do you know what it is about the Nordic cultures? It's all about economy of language. You know, Italians use loads and loads of words to say very, very little, actually. In the Nordic countries, it's different. It's the opposite. It's minimum words, maximum message, right? So where I was raised in the UK is also lots of words, by the way. Look at this. Excuse me, may I just interrupt you for a second? That's 10 words. That's way too many words. The Norwegians managed to do this in one word. Now, that's what I call economy of language. What's the word? Look at this. Yeah, do. That's it. Here's another example. Look, sorry for bumping into you like that. Terribly clumsy of me. That's way too many words. The Norwegians do it in one word. Ready? There we go. It's fantastic, eh? And my favorite, and you know the answer. Sorry, I didn't quite catch what you just said. Well done. Ha, one word. Now, the first time I heard that, I just heard this, you see. I've got 3 kids now going, ha, ha, ha. But look beyond the negative side and look to the curiosity. And this is it. We're often misperceived because on a serious note, this ha, which I've heard many times, doesn't often get perceived very positively by other nationalities. You get it, yeah? And everyone has been misperceived in their life. I mean, the Dutch are often misperceived. They complain a lot. They are the world champions of complaining, the Dutch. But why do they do it? They do it because they're looking for something better. And one way you do it is to complain and seek a better result. That's often difficult. I used to work with a guy who was French. He is French. I used to work with him. His name was Yves. Yves complained a lot as well. He complained about everything, and he questioned everything. He had a fantastic mind. You know, I would come into work, and once I came into work, and I said to Yves, "Good morning." And he looked at me and he said, "Is it?" I mean, he was on that level, you know? And I've had my challenges too. The biggest challenge I've had living in Norway and trying to communicate with my fellow Norwegians is, of course, this thing with feelings and expressing feelings. You know, where I come from, we express. What I've had to learn to do, is kind of tone myself down, actually, living in the Nordic countries. You know, living in Norway, tone myself down. Keep it low, keep it calm, because that works better, which is often very, very difficult, yeah? Another thing is rules. I still find rules a little tricky, I must admit. That's where I'm quite Italian. Now, these are people driving into work in a town in Norway. They're following rules. Can you see? And they're simple rules. The rules are keep between the lines and don't use that lane over there. That's the public transport lane, unless you're a bus, a taxi, or an electric car. Simple rules. And look at this. Every single car manages to drive between the lines. It's fantastic. Now, this is a little clip that I took this summer driving down to Italy. This is a police car. That car has got nothing to do with the police car. And it's just a little short clip here. But, you know, look at him. I mean, would you do that in Norway? You know you wouldn't. You know you wouldn't, huh? And this is another clip in France. What they do, look. What happens is, you see, is that they drift. I love that guy in the BMW there. Do you see that? The French guy. Are you going left or right? I do not know yet. I've not decided. It's fantastic. And then some countries, here you can't even see the lines. Where are the lines? Where are they, you know? And I suggested once to an Indian colleague of mine, perhaps if you painted the lines more regularly, people would follow the rules. And he just said, no, that would be a waste of paint, you know? So it would... That's why we have traffic wardens. That's why we have traffic wardens in Norway. This is a traffic warden in Norway giving a ticket, a fine to this car. Now, I'm just going to check. You see, Norwegians know these rules instinctively. It's your duty to learn the rules. But can I ask you, why is that car going to get a fine? Why is he going to get a fine? Too close to the zebra crossing, the pedestrian crossing. What's the minimum distance? 5. And people mumbling 5. 4. You know this stuff. It's like a stupid question. So the day I parked my car in Oslo, let me just explain what's going on. You see, the line goes under here and then underneath the wheel. This is no parking. I was in a little bit of a hurry. And my wife said to me, I think you should move your car forward a little bit. I said, why? Just move your car. You'll get a fine. Why? Just please move your car. You could see she was really uncomfortable, you know? And this irritated me. I thought, you know, I haven't got time for this. Let's go. So I left. Okay. And this is especially for the Norwegians in the room. Did I get a fine? Do you feel sorry for me? No, you get no sympathy. No sympathy whatsoever, you know? It's a simple bloody rule, follow the rules, you know? Now, Italians believe that the power of speech, the power of persuasion is your most important tool in life. We believe that you can appeal to people, and if you're good enough at appealing, they might listen to you and they might find an alternative solution. So I believed that I could call the Oslo traffic police and talk my way out of a problem. And I can see Norwegians doing this. Oh, no. You're wasting your time. Don't bother. No, I thought I would try. So I called the guy down at the Oslo traffic. Hello, this is Pellegrino. By the way, I spoke English, of course, not Norwegian, because they take it more seriously, eh? Hello, this is Pellegrino, referring to case 78206. Yes, I have it in front of me here. Listen, I was just wondering if we could be a little bit flexible on this. I mean, we're only talking about 20 centimeters. I'm really sorry. I've learnt my lesson. I won't ever do it again. That kind of stuff. Did it help? Not at all. To his credit, he was good. He was really good. I could hear him clicking in the background. He had all the rules. He was saying, I'm very sorry, but you know, the wheel must be inside the box. It says here in the Rule 5, paragraph D. He had all the answers in front of him. Yeah? And then he said something I'll never forget. He said to me, Riccardi is your name. You may be Italian. Well, you probably like football. I said, I do like football. Well, it's like football, you know. The ball must be over the line. The wheel must be in the box. It was fantastic. Now, it was great. He had all the answers, black and white, you know. He had everything. Fine. So I told my friend Yves this. My friend Yves, the French guy, who got really irritated. Remember Yves? Is it? But he's really good at asking questions. And he said, okay, the wheel must be inside the box. He said, what if I take the wheel off the car? What would happen then? I thought that was really interesting, actually. What would happen? So I called back and asked him, what would happen if I took the wheel off the box? He didn't have an answer for me. He couldn't answer that question. Why not? Because it's not an accepted and familiar question, and he doesn't have that approach. Then you need the help of an Italian, because the time I parked my car in Italy, you see, I was looking for a parking place on holiday. Impossible. I see a traffic warden, I go up to her, and I start talking in Italian, and I say, listen, I'm looking for a parking place. And she says, there is a parking house nearby, but don't park your car there. Why not? She says, it's too expensive. 40 euro. Really? What should I do? And she says, I like you. You seem like a nice fellow. I like you. I like the way you talk Italian. I'm going to help you today. She says, park your car over there. And she points over to this sign and says, go and park your car over there. Come on, I can't park. It's okay, it's not dangerous. Park your car there. Don't pay 40 euro in the parking house. Park your car over there. I give you a fine for 30 euro. You save yourself 10 euro. Now, I'm not here to discuss whether it's right or wrong, but what I can tell you is that I get it. I get it because I've got it inside me. I've seen this before and I accept it, and I can see the positive elements. You see, these three cultures I have inside me, just to finish off, this is what I'm passionate about. I've got three cultures inside me, and they're all very different. They're planets apart. They really are in certain aspects. But you know what I try to do on a daily basis, especially with my kids? I try to take the best of all three. Take the best of all three and try to merge them into one new culture where you take the best of all three. Across borders isn't about going across borders in my mind. It's about extending your borders and creating new ones around us. And you know what? If you can create a new culture where you take the best of all three, like I tried to do, and it's not easy, guess what? That's when you create what we call a global mindset. And I believe this is what makes the world go round. Thank you very much.
Are you there?
Yes.
Let's
Yes.
get let's get the feedbacks and I mean the keywords that you capture.
Curiosity.
Okay.
Perception, behavior, communication skills,
Familiar and
listening.
acceptance.
Aishat, let's go one by one. First Aishat, then Yusuf, then Raghav, I think. Ümit. Yes, Aishat.
So I think I just like took 10. Perception, accepted and familiar, behavior, curiosity, communication skill, listening, self-reflection, respect, adaptability, global mindset.
Global mindset. Good. Okay. You said.
Acceptance. Oh, 1 second, I'm muted. I believe so. No. Oh, okay, I'm not. Acceptance and being familiar with all of what's going on in different cultures, just like how he said when giving the what do you call it? The example, the ticket example in Italy, where she said, "No, don't park your car over there. It's gonna cost you 40 euros. Just park over
Oh,
here."
you're also having a good accent.
Thank you so much. So, like, what I liked about it is that how do you say it? You have to be familiar and accept in certain cultures, even though you might not accept it. So basically, it's more of upgrading your mental capability of understanding and being aware of different cultures.
Okay, upgrading. Good word. Yes. Yeah, your capability. Very good. Okay. Ümit?
Misperception. People.
Yes, hocam. Oh, sorry. Wrong with me.
I think Ümit, you were saying something. Okay.
Which one? Ümit or Omit?
No, Ümit, you. Ümit Alp.
Oh, okay. Perception, acceptance and familiar, curiosity, misperception, and global mindset.
Okay, great. Thank you. What else?
I couldn't find it. I couldn't get it.
No. Thank you, Ümit. Thank you. I was asking what else to the others. Thank you. Mohammed Jamal.
Yes, be perceptive, curious, have a global mindset, extend your borders, be flexible, and equality, I think.
Okay, and equality. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Ali says, okay. Ali said he likes in early countries. In fact, I'm not sure if he used the word flexible, but you need to be in order to adapt. Yes. Adaptability. Yes. And Mohammed Ali said misperceive. Mohammed Ali, what? Yeah, misperceive. Why did you use this word? I'm curious. Also, he mentioned curiosity as well. Okay.
Actually, the man in video used this word, misperceive.
I try to remember in which concept he was trying to explain misperceive. Maybe misperception, right? He mentioned this word.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yes. I do remember now. Thank you. Upgrading mental capabilities rather than flexibility. Being open to new and different worlds. Yeah, at the end of it, he said that what I do, I try to merge and get the best out of three cultures, and I try to make myself better. So this is also what we're trying to do, right? In general. Okay, guys, thank you very much. I am happy what I have heard from you. Sorry. So for this week, if you don't have any question, we can stop here.
Thank you so much for your time, Raja.